Hey everyone, Shay here. I know I made a rather silly video on alts not very long ago, but this time, I'm serious. I did actually make an alt on the Marlboro server for one specific reason. My brother started playing the game, and he's got so many questions. There's a lot for a new player to learn in Final Fantasy XIV. With the revamp of the Realm Reborn quest, it really is a perfect time for me to have an alt and help him out. Now, I will admit that the purpose of this video series is really to help my brother out, but I really hope that some other new players, and maybe old players, will get helped as well. When you start your adventure in Eorzea, you start in one of three city-states, Gridania, Ul'dah, or Limsa Lominsa. Because I chose Marauder, I'm over in Limsa. The first thing you encounter is your MSQ, or your main scenario quest. As you can see, the MSQ is marked different than normal quests, so pay attention to that. Oh, and if you get lost, you can always check here on the upper left of your screen. At least, that's where it is by default. This will always tell you where the next or current main scenario quest is. Below your MSQ is your job quest, which is also important, but we'll get to that in a minute. Before I go any further, let's talk about setting up your screen the way you like it. Alright, so you may not like mine, but that's okay. You can take a few minutes to change around your layout and check Character and System Configuration menu. There is a ton of UI customization you can do. So just click around, get a feel for things, and clearly I got a few things to change myself. When you first start the game, there's a few basics to learn, like, well, getting around. As you can see, your main city-state has a few side quests you can pick up when you get started. I think I'm repeating myself here. Anyway, while I'm doing the intro MSQ, I personally feel like it's a good idea to pick up these available side quests in the city, but only up until about level 5. Why? Because these quests take you around the city and help you find your aetheryte points. This helps you travel comfortably around the city without running like mad and blowing your sprint, because you can't mount inside of a city. As you can see, I need to get from the Arcanist Guild to the Aetheryte Plaza, and since I found my Aetheryte here, I'm just going to click and teleport. Once you finish up some quests and get all your Aetherytes, it's time to head outside of the city and begin your adventures! Alright, I gotta admit, the MSQ at the beginning is a little meh, but it does ramp up. I promise! A number of these side quests coincide with your MSQ that sends you into combat for the first time. It's your pretty typical kill this, kill that, bring it back quest. Like I said, starts out slow, but don't worry. After you turn in the MSQ that takes you into combat for the first time, you're going to get your first item. Now, this is going to automatically go into your Armory Chest, though there is a setting to put new armor in your inventory instead, and personally, I use that setting. The Armory Chest default hotkey is Control and I together. Here you can see all the armor you have and what you can equip. As you start to get items, you want to choose the best item. Now, some items are for Disciple of War, which are Gladiator, Marauder, Lancer, Archer, etc. Some are for Disciples of Magic, which are Arcanist, Thaumaturge, Conjurer, etc. Others work for all classes. You can right-click and click on Item Comparison to see if it's better than your existing item. Obviously, this one is replacing my pretty Elysian gloves. Remember earlier when I mentioned the job quest and where it's found? You should do that along with your MSQ. In a Realm Reborn, you're going to get a new job quest every 5 levels, and it's important to keep up with that. You get new abilities and unlock things like the Hunt Log. Now, the Hunt Log shows you enemies and pests to take care of in the open world. Each of these completed hunts gives you a bit of extra XP, and eventually you get a really nice reward from it. So keep up with the Hunt Log too. I've never actually been able to keep up with it really well, so do as I say, not as I do. Okay, what are these funny symbols over the mob? This is a hunt. Well, one type of hunt. We'll get to the other hunts later. This symbol means that the mob is in your hunt log. You should dispose of this mob. And, not mess up your very basic combo like I just did. See that blue thing on my mini-map? That's a fate. Fates are events in the open world you can participate in to gain extra EXP, and eventually you'll gain Grand Company seals. And don't worry about Grand Company seals right now. We'll get to those later on. The fate tells you your objective, and the purple symbol over the mob's head shows you who to take care of. Once the fate is done, you'll get your reward in gil and XP. Now we're journeying right along, and we're gonna reach our first spot outside of the city. Hey, there's an aetheryte here too, but it's a much bigger one. You should click on every aetheryte you see and make sure you attune to it. The first one will teach you the teleport spell. Teleport lets you fast travel from one place to another. As you can see, I've got to go back to Limsa. Now I can just teleport there for a small gil fee. As you continue to level up, you'll gain something called role actions. You can see them here in the spellbook. Oh, the spellbook hotkey is the letter P by default. Role actions are really important for tanks, DPS, and healers. The only role action I have right now is Rampart, but I'm going to need that as a tank. Make sure to pop your role actions on your hotbar and keep up with them as you gain them. Here's something else that's important. See this little quest marker here? Looks a little different than a normal quest. That's because it's not a quest, it's a Chocobo Porter. At level 10, you can start to access them to travel around the world. They're pretty useful when you don't have a mount yet, so don't forget to grab them by talking to the Chocobo Porter. And another new type of quest marker. Okay, these are almost always important. These are quests that unlock different things in the game. They unlock new jobs, crafting jobs, gathering jobs, cosmetics, and other things in Final Fantasy like dungeons. In this case, I'm unlocking housing access for the Mists, which is something else that you're going to want to unlock so you can visit your friends. You can unlock all three by talking to a Rogadin friend here in Lower Lenosha, and in Thanalin, you're going to speak to Imi in Western Thanalin, and in the Black Shroud, you'll speak to Margeria? I don't know. Margeria? Marjorie! It's Margeria. Anyway, she's in the Central Shroud, right by the Bent Branch Aetheryte. The person in Western Thanalin is right by the Chocobos. You'll want to do each of these to unlock the quest to access the Mists, the Goblet, and the Lavender Veds. Eventually we're going to get to Shirogane and Kugane, but that's going to be a while from now, because that's in Stormblood. Just keep an eye out for all the blue unlock quests in the game. They've always got something new for you. Now we just keep plodding along until we hit level 10. And then a lot starts to open up. Now, if you don't like the first job you chose, don't worry. You can change jobs as often as you'd like and explore other options as soon as you finish your first level 10 job quest. You can also pick up crafting and gathering jobs too. I was set on staying my favorite tank, but I found out my brother has his heart set on learning how to tank, so I need to unlock the rogue. So we're going to head down to the Fisherman's Guild and find ourselves this blue unlock quest. After I have a chat with our new friend here, we're going to head into the Rogues Guild and get our intro to the job. Now we can change gear sets. Pull up your character by pressing C by default, and you can see where to open the gear sets here. Obviously, I don't have one yet, but once I press the plus sign, I've got my Marauder all set up. I should probably rename it to something appropriate. This works. In order to change jobs, all you have to do is equip the weapon. In this case, I'm equipping my daggers to become a rogue. Okay, that's just rude. Really, really indecent. Yeah, let's put some clothes on and create a new gear set for rogue. Clearly, I have to rename this as well. This works. Alright, don't forget to update your gear set by pressing the refresh looking button every time you equip new gear. Now that I've got this all set up, I can talk to our new buddy and get myself back up to level 10 so I can catch up with my brother. I should mention that you cannot repeat the MSQ when you pick up a new job. For me, to get to level 10, I'm going to do Fates, my hunt log, and probably some side quests too. It won't take me any time to hit level 10 and catch back up to my MSQ. In the next video, we're going to look at more unlocks and more things that you might be missing if you're a brand new player between about level 10 and 20. Hopefully, you're enjoying your time in Eorzea.